For the third Ignite talk, we have Hiruni Kandaudaarachch. Hiruni is an analytical delivery manager at Octave with more than 3 years of experience in delivering analytical use cases for business specializing in retail. She holds a bachelor's degree in Mechatronics and a master's degree in applied statistics. In her role, she leads projects emphasizing business value and customer experience enhancements. She will be speaking on the topic of leveraging AI and business growing and ensuring data security and privacy. Over to you, Hiruni.
Thank you, Gagani. Good afternoon, everyone. So it's a privilege actually to come and talk in such a forum where we can inspire multiple women and also people who are interested in this field. And so today my topic is on the leveraging AI for business growth while ensuring data security and privacy. So let's start off with just a brief introduction on what AI is. If we really look at it, I think all of y'all are now very much familiar with AI, but then AI is also a simulation of the human intelligence by machines. So as we all know, AI is a rapidly growing field, and it has been rapidly changing continuously for the past few years. And if you really look at what AI is, it's more like an umbrella with consisting of multiple fields like machine learning, natural language processing, deep learning, and computer vision. But once again, these are again with the evolvement of AI, these definitions can change in the future and something that can be redefined by different individuals. But with this AI growth, what we have seen is that businesses have had significant opportunities to grow and innovate by using some of the data and also factoring some of the decisions by using the data. But like the famous saying goes, however, like with great power comes also great responsibility, especially when it comes to safeguarding some of our data. So if we look at some of the how AI has transformed business operations, businesses with AI have a lot of advanced decision making. With businesses that use AI can look at integrating their decisions to data-driven decision making, and which will allow them to have crucial insights in analyzing the certain large data sets and also by predicting outcomes for the future. This will also help a lot of the businesses to shift from the focus from the mundane task to also shift their focus to more strategic initiatives. Then another thing that we see is that it has significantly increased efficiencies in the business. So a lot of things that are very mundane can be automated, and with that, a lot of the routine things are getting eliminated, and humans have, and with that there's a lot of increased efficiency, and also increased agility and also responsiveness to data has also come through with this AI. And another thing that can also has enhanced is in any business that focus on customers, it has been able to maximize the customer lifetime value. So by basically optimizing the customer experience and also driving insights to new sources of value. I will speak a bit more on this in my next slide, but also businesses have also been able to significantly innovate. So they were able to look at different revenue streams, they can look at new product developments and even identify different market trends, and based on that adopt their business and then move into significant innovations. So like I said, businesses with AI has a significant transformation, and definitely it's something that businesses should utilize now. And if we are not, it is something that will slow us in the future. So let's look at some examples. And as you can see here, there are a lot of examples in different industries, in retail, in insurance, and banking, transportation. And it's proven that in the world that it has given significant value to the businesses. If we talk about one example in retail, so if you look at a customer who comes and purchases products in a supermarket, then there are a lot of things that there are certain things that he or she might buy. And then with that, what the business can do is, rather the supermarket can do is understand what these customers buying behavior, buying patterns are, and understand what are some of the products that we need to focus and send communications to, which can increase the loyalty of the customer to their relevant supermarket. And also personalize some of the offers to give them that different customer experience I was talking about, so they may feel more valued, and also in turn might not go to a different supermarket but continue to shop at the same supermarket that we are talking about. So again, another example is something that is very common is in the supply chain domain. So if you look at the supply chain domain, a lot of areas where AI can support is demand forecasting, also how to procure products better with a low cost, and also how to have better margins. So definitely there are so many advantages of AI, and like it's very proven across the world as well, and something that the businesses in Sri Lanka also needs to adopt and look at in terms of improving as a future. So with all of these AI and using AI to grow the businesses, there comes the part where how do we secure data. So let's look at what is the main importance of data security. So as a McKinsey study states that 70% of the consumers believe that the companies that they buy products from protect their data. But however, about 57% of the executives or other businesses have reported that their organizations have suffered at least one material breach in the past 3 years, which looks like a very significant thing. And it may affect the brand loyalty of the business as well. So as a responsible business, they need to really focus on how we can secure the data. So there are particular challenges also, but let's look at 3 main areas that the business should focus on to protect the data. So first is the cloud security. So cloud security is like when how to protect the data in terms of the software, hardware, and storage over the internet. So how can it be protected is using certain data protections, threat detections, and compliances. And then we look at the endpoint security, which is the security related to the devices that the people are using to process certain data. So it could be your laptops, it could be your phones, desktops, and so on. So this is one area where significant data breaches happen, and a lot of companies do not spend a lot of time to evaluate this area. So how can that be looked at is to limit certain accesses, having certain antiviruses, and having certain controls, and also having a very strong business policy to make sure that these IT systems are protected. And then finally, also there's the network security itself, which is also a very important area, where like looking at firewalls and also how we can protect and availability of the network infrastructure itself. So some of these areas are very important, and the companies must adopt a comprehensive security strategy that focuses on protection of all these endpoints and not just one area. So while the business is looking at protection of these areas, they should also look at some of the compliances into the regulatory requirements in your country. So I think one area is this Data Protection Act, which is a very talked about topic and a hot topic these days, which is the upcoming Data Protection Act, which is effective from the next March 2025. Which might mandate some stringent data protection measures, which we are yet to see. So with all of these, we will want to look at how data can be integrated and secured in the businesses. So first, as a company or a business who would want to move into AI, they need to define the data strategy and also what are some of the business priorities. For example, a certain company, whether they really want to focus on the revenue growth and the customer, or maybe a certain company might want to focus more on reducing their costs. So that depends on the business priorities. So identifying that priority is very important even before thinking about what is the data security and so on, because identifying this business priority will help us to define what are the different data that are required to improve that business priority. So after identifying that business priority, also the businesses should look at a definite data governance structure and operating model. So what we mean by this is data governance structure will include who are the people who are accountable to ensure that the data is protected, and also what are the data that is getting transferred to others for processing, and also what are some of the priorities, and also in terms of data qualities. For example, are the data that are provided are in a very good quality level? Is there any problems with the data? Or are the data that are sent for processing has personal information data, which might be lead to a lot of issues in the future? So defining that data governance is important, so that not just in the start of any AI projects, but also in the as a sustainable manner, it is being continuously looked at. Then once this data governance and the operating model is looked at, of course, the design, how the data is brought forward into the different processes can be looked at. So the technical and the data architecture would be like the blueprint of the ecosystem in which data is generated, processed, and also integrated and governed. So this is something that the certain technical teams will look at in terms of how to process this data and so on. So once the data comes in and all the structures are made, it's also important to ensure that there is a proper risk management process that is set up, and then continuously it is monitoring certain risks that may arise with the changes in technology, whether there are different additional securities that needs to be brought in, and making sure that frequently this is monitored. And then finally, once all of these are set, the businesses can execute the transformation of the business through AI. So this would be the main journey that the businesses should definitely look at to follow, so that the businesses do not breach some of the data and have a strong data security and privacy policies. So with all of these, looking at all of these and the whole thing about AI being the future, I think this is definitely a unique opportunity for all of us to shape the future, not just in AI and in businesses, but also in the world, right? So I think as all women in data science or someone who's interested, definitely this is somewhere you need to be. And also you don't want to leave it to someone else to do it, right? If it's a change and if this is the future, you definitely want to be involved and definitely give what you can do and support the future in the world and be definitely a part of it. So I encourage everyone who's interested and who may have doubts whether this is your area. Definitely there are so many different fields in this arena where you can take in and also support and also be a part in the future. So with that, it comes to the end of my presentation, and thank you so much for the opportunity. Thanks everyone.